Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. This one's kind of fun. How much is your doctor time worth is the question. So, in any case, I just wanted to give you guys a friendly reminder that our team can help you with your Clinchecks. So many of you just getting bogged down by Clinchecks. It's not that you can't do them. You may not do them as well as an orthodontist, but you probably do them okay. But they're just very time consuming for you. And a lot of people just struggle and they get really backed up, or they're starting to see their refinement rates creep up. If you have a refinement rate over 20-30%, you're doing something wrong. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. So you're doing something wrong. Unless you're taking ridiculously challenging cases. But if you're taking pretty straightforward cases, you really shouldn't be having refinements. Yes, refinements are normal. If you're doing growth modification, MA, if you're in mixed dentition, if you're in primary to mixed dentition, yeah, okay, that's not a bad thing in that case. That's normal. But in an adult case where there's not impacted teeth, no. Refinement's not normal. That means you're doing something wrong or your aligner company is doing something wrong. And you know, this last year I kind of made the decision. It's not that I won't help people with other aligner companies, because I will. Some, not all. But I have a list of who I'll help with on my website. You can go to my FAQs. I buried a little bit just because I don't want to get sued. But I'll help you as long as it's a company that hasn't directly sued me. I will help you. There's a few I list. There's a reason why I'm not doing it. And there's a few other companies that just the outcomes are so bad. And I'm not going to tell you which is which. I'm just going to say it's a company I don't work with. But there's some other borderline companies that I don't think are great. I am so not confident. Like, let's put it this way. If my classmates from my UCSF class called me and said, should I pick this brand? I would say absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to say these, but I'm just so not confident because that means I've worked cases from start to finish, either me personally or me with other doctors. So I know the cases and I know they were treatment planned right. And we had like really, really good compliance in, like virtual, whether we were using an independent company, like sometimes we're using Grin or some of these other ones with a lot of doctors. So I know the patients were compliant. Like, if I'm that confident about the treatment plan and I'm confident about the patient's compliance and it went haywire, and it didn't just happen in one patient. One patient might be just a one-off. They could have weird bone. They could be been taking a strange supplement. There's strange stuff that happens, and sometimes we don't have answers, okay? But if it's happening over and over, we keep getting posterior open bites, and it's not predicted, and we're checking the bite, and we're checking the articulation over and over, and not just 1, 2, 3, but 100, 200, 500. Then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, no, you're not using this brand. I'm sorry, something's wrong with this brand. I don't know what it is, but something's not right with this brand. And there's a lot of brands like that. So I'm not going to say who they are. So at this point, I'm funneling pretty much all my love to Invisalign and ClearCorrect right now. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. If there's completely vertically integrated aligner company, I get flooded every single day by people. It's mostly people from other countries who got aligner treatment planning services, Middle East, Costa Rica, South America. It's big. I get it. There's a lot of great orthodontists in other countries that are just trying to get work, and digital treatment planning is a good way for them to make American money. I get it. And I've worked with some of these before, and it was great. And we had a company that I worked with. I didn't own it by any means, but it was completely vertically integrated, except for I think some of the treatment planners might have been a little bit offshore, but everything else was done in the US. It was a US company, it was US manufacturing. I felt really good about it. So, and things were going really well for a while. But in these type of companies, they're built, often on straws and sticks, and they can fall apart easily. So, anyways, I'm not going to mention what that company is, but because it's gone. But I haven't found another one that I'm that confident about yet. It takes a long time for me to build my trust and confidence. But anyways, I digress. So yes, we do help with Invisalign Clinchecks or ClearCorrect. That's fine too. I'm fine with that. I wish if ClearCorrect freaking put CBCTs in their plan, I would give them so much more love. And I know they can figure this out because Spark does it. And the only reason I give my love to ClearCorrect over Spark is twofold. One, because Spark completely was rude to me when I first started, like so rude. Like I tried for years to learn more and everything like that. And they said, well, we'll teach you as an orthodontist, but you can't teach other people. Because with this, our product is only for orthodontists and it'll only always be for orthodontists. And they made a big stink about it. And that really offended me, and it should offend you, just to be like that. And then all of a sudden now they're like, oh, yeah, we're releasing to GPs. Their dashboards are clunky to use. It's the software is clunky. It is a nightmare. Unless it has changed in the last year, it is a nightmare to use. I find it just too difficult to deal with. So I'll do Spark, but y'all got to run it. You guys got to do it on your own. I'm not doing it for you with you. You got to do it. So I'll supervise it, but you got to do all the work, which is going to be more time consuming. It's basically stuff I'd normally do for my clients, but I'm not doing it. So I don't want to be like that, but there's a point where my time is not worth something and it's not worth working with Spark. So, but yeah, if you guys run the show, I'm not saying it's not predictable. I'm sure it's fine. It's just a pain. But there's other ones that are just not predictable. Anyways, so yes, we're happy to help you. I've been throwing my love to Invisalign and ClearCorrect. If you have an iTero, obviously it's Invisalign. If you don't, it's ClearCorrect. That's how it goes. Every single Clincheck is checked by me, ultimately before it goes out as a yes or a no or a change. And of course, we talk to you about everything. We explain all the options. There's not just one plan. And unlike an engine, which just spits out a plan, there's almost no circumstance where there's only one plan. And that's the whole part that you guys are missing, those of you who are doing engines, is that you are forgetting that there's always multiple plans, almost always. Maybe in a very, very simple class 1 crowding case with no bolt-in, there's no options. But for everyone else, there's this option A, B, C, D. Here we take out teeth. Here we do IPR. Here we distalize. How are we making space? There's always ways to do things, right? How are we going to deal with this bolt-in? Are we going to open up space? Are we going to restore? Are we going to do IPR? How about this class 2 case? How are we going to grow the jaw? Or how are we going to fix the class 2? Are we doing headgear? Are we doing MA? Are you doing some type of crazy appliance that's going to blunt the roots and damage the joints? I'm not doing that, but there's lots of options, right? We're doing elastics. So there's always multiple options. There's never one. So I always tell patients and even doctors, if you're routinely only giving your patient one Clincheck, you're doing something wrong. Like, first of all, they're not going to trust you. Second of all, this is not standard of care. Standard of care is to explain all options, even if it's one you're not going to offer. So again, if this is a surgical case, a lot of patients are surgical cases, but a lot of GPs through the engines are just straightening the front teeth, not fixing the bite. Sometimes that's fine. Sometimes that's not. Regardless, you have to show them perfect. You have to explain perfect. Even if you can't do it, you have to say, perfect is going to involve a jaw surgery. This is why it's better. It is always better. It's better. I'm not saying you got to do it. It's not saying for everyone, but it is better. And the patients need to understand what better is, even if that means you lost your money. Even if that means you have to give a refund. You have to explain it. So sorry to go on my high horse, but pretty much everyone that gets in trouble about ortho, unless they're just really dumb, this is the things they're doing wrong. They're just not explaining all the options. And okay, I'm not even going to go what I was about to say, but it's your job to make sure no company's bailing you out. Let's put it that way. Okay. You are independently working with these companies as the doctor. These companies are just marketing companies and laboratories. That's all they are. They are not the doctor. They may offer, and that's why it gets confusing and I think gets messy, is they may offer education. I personally think these aligner companies should not offer any educational courses at all. They can explain how to upload a case, but I don't think they should offer any education. I think all the education should be independent. I think they could put the education options on their channel, and I see that they're offering some engine offerings and stuff like that, but people think that's an Invisalign course because they pay Invisalign for it. So I don't know who's getting the money. I don't know who is liable, who runs it. I'm sure that there's got to be some type of BAA there, because I've done stuff like this before with companies where they're like, you're going to be our teacher for a course, but if they have a problem, they're going to go to you. You're going to be using your insurance for this. So anyways, this was a much longer video than I expected, but hopefully it was helpful. You guys are always asking me about how it works. Ultimately, you're getting options. You're understanding what the options are. You're understanding how to do the Clin Check. You are doing the Clin Check, you're doing it. You're learning it. And then you decide with the patient which one is best. And then you do the treatment. That's all it is. It's just options. All right. Thanks so much.